my friends. Welcome to Sort of Brilliant, a show where the characters are made up and Hogwarts house sorting absolutely does matter. My name is Rachel.
And I'm her best friend and co-host, Lauren. Every other week, we're going to invade a fandom and determine whether your favorite character belongs in Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, or Slytherin. There's bound to be some arguments along the way.
But in the end, we're always right.
Well, according to us.
According to us.
Hey, welcome to our show. This is Sort of Brilliant. We're going to be sorting some characters into Hogwarts houses for you guys. Super excited to bring you this podcast.
It's going to be a lot of fun. This is what we do. This is our passion. This is what we love. Ever since we've met, we've been doing this. So why don't you talk a little bit about how we met, Lauren?
Yeah, met a really long time ago. It feels like ages and ages. I mean, this year has already been like 7. So tack that on to the 6 years that we already knew each other. Our anniversary is like our friendiversary. Our friendiversary is also like your wedding anniversary, which wasn't done on purpose.
Yeah. That is so strange, but true. Yes. Yeah. Important day in my life.
Extremely. May like 24th or something like that. But
well,
yeah.
It all started there and it led us here.
It did. And how did we get here? What was the tipping point to us? I mean, it's a fun story. I mean, here's the really sad thing about me and Rachel is that we will never be able to separate our lives from the show Supernatural, unfortunately.
This is true. Fortunately or unfortunately, you know, I'm cool with it.
Are you?
No. A little. Yeah. I love Supernatural. Lauren loves Supernatural. It's the fandom is wonderful and bizarre and just something that has the ability to bring people together the way that it brought me and Lauren together, especially through something like a powerful emotion like anger. So we were pretty pissed one day about something one of the actors on the show said.
We were both like baby fandom people. Like I had been in the fandom for, I've been here for about 10 years, so it had been 4, but I had just made the Tumblr migration to Twitter. And I think Rachel was fairly new too. And I don't know, we're not talking to just the Supernatural fandom here. That's the thing about the show too. It's not going to be just Supernatural. We're sorting all shows, but since Supernatural is such a big part of our life, it's probably going to come up quite a bit. But don't know any of you familiar with the show and the actors because this fandom is so passionate, a lot of the times the actors say something that can get us very riled up. And one actor who, at least in the past, has been very good at riling us up, especially a certain segment of this fandom, is one Mr. Jensen Ackles. And he said something that caused a
fandom mutiny.
Looking back on it, extremely cringy hashtag movement. But Rachel rolled up into my DMs and forced her phone number on me, and here we are.
I did. I was like, "What's up, girl? Get at me." We're friends now, and she just hasn't been able to escape, which is great.
Yeah, and I've been forcing her to do stuff like this podcast and watch all different kinds of TV shows with me ever since. So hopefully that kind of works for this.
It sure will. This is absolutely what we love to do because beyond Supernatural, I know we spent a lot of time on Supernatural there, but beyond that, one of the most important stories to us is Harry Potter. It means a lot to us in both of our lives in different ways. We both grew up with it, different points in our lives, and it just was there in a very formative time, like I'm sure it was for many of you.
Yeah, I got into it when I was 7, and the books carried me to middle school, and then the movies carried me to the end of high school, so it was really formative part of my years. And want to say really quickly before we get into like how we're actually using sorting on the show, we do want a disclaimer, a huge fuck you to J.K. Rowling. Fuck her incorrect and harmful views on trans people. Neither one of us are a fan of her, agree with what she's saying, are happy with what she's saying, have actively shouted against what she's saying. I personally, and I understand anybody who has to distance themselves from what she's written because of how awful and toxic she's been.
Right.
But I'm a huge fan of Death of the Author. And I think Harry Potter has taken on a life of its own with its own problems within that universe. But the only thing that we're going to be speaking about here is we've taken sorting, basically. We stole it, and it's now ours. It's our personality test, and we apply it to everything.
It is. If you've ever done Myers-Briggs tests or any of those really super popular tests, sorting always comes up. If you Google like personality tests or just you start looking for places to sort yourself based on certain attributes you have, sorting is one of the biggest ones. And there's a reason for that. So she might be a terrible person, but I'm stealing her one good idea. So
her only one.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I love the story. I love the world. I love everything good that she gave us. Unfortunately, she's given us a lot of bad shit to go with it. So we're just acknowledging that and taking the good and moving on from her.
Yeah, exactly. Trans woman or woman, trans men or men, fuck her. Like Rachel kind of touched on earlier, we've taken sorting not just for this podcast, but like in everyday life, we kind of use it to look at people and look at how they think and to understand their character and being like, I mean, I kind of take sorting as my like baseline, like my go-to baseline of looking at people. So if I can take people's attributes and then sort them, I can kind of work backwards to understand their thinking and to create a sympathy, empathy like play with them.
Right. So like even calling back to the beginning of this discussion with Jensen Ackles, the beautiful bastard, when he upset us, it helped us to look at him through a lens of the house we sorted him into, because then it explained like, okay, so this doesn't excuse the behavior. Of course, sorting into Hogwarts houses is never going to excuse shitty behavior. Okay. We realize that. But the thing is, when you really love a person, a character, or even a celebrity, you know, we've sorted them, as I'm letting you in on now. It helps. It definitely helps to understand why they may have said what they said or did what they did. And, you know, listen, stan culture, just this kind of culture where we do kind of idolize people. It's difficult when they mess up. It hurts. It bothers us. And in a situation like this, it was really, really helpful to have the house lens to look through for him. And it really helped, you know, me and Lauren's friendship kind of blossom from that. So a great thing came from it. And another good thing came from it, this podcast. So
hopefully
that's how we view
a good thing. But yeah,
I think it's a great thing.
I mean, absolutely. And I mean, like Rachel said, it doesn't excuse shitty behavior to have somebody sorted. Like you don't look at somebody and go, oh, they're a Hufflepuff, so them telling me they wish I was dead is okay, because I can go back and look at this. But it at least kind of leads you to how their thinking might have worked to get them to that point. And then you could be like, this is why they said what they said. I'm still not okay with it, but I understand the origins of what's happening. And that kind of helps to create context around it and to move forward from there. Except people like JKR who don't deserve shit from us, which is why we're sticking to fiction. And I think that's an important thing we want to say about how we sort on this show. Even though we have acknowledged that sorting is the good thing J.K. Rowling gave us, she didn't really Rachel and I have this joke that we sort correctly, which is not conceited, I promise. Or, I mean, maybe it is. But not to say nobody else sorts correctly, but J.K. Rowling definitely, I don't think, understands what she's given us here, because her books especially kind of create the idea, like through the Sorting Hat songs and the prejudiced way that she has filtered people into the houses, except for like a select few. That like Gryffindor means brave, Ravenclaw means smart, Hufflepuff is like the friendly, like, yeah, like we don't know where else to put them, but they're nice people. And then Slytherin's just like straight up evil, which isn't how Rachel and I look at it. We go really deep into it, which you'll see throughout this podcast. But like most generally, we kind of look at how we sort is that your motivations are what like create your sorting and not the actions that you do, because anybody can do a certain action, but the reason behind the action is what creates your personality. And we've kind of like super generally, you'll hear way more discussion about it, but super generally have kind of come to the idea that a Gryffindor's motivation is rooted in moral righteousness. A Ravenclaw's motivation is motivated in logical truth. A Hufflepuff's motivation is rooted in their community that they create around them or that they choose. And then a Slytherin is rooted in their motivation for their self and their closest loved ones.
Yeah, absolutely. It goes so much farther beyond than just brave, smart, I like book, oh, I'm evil. Like, you know, the very base general way that people have come to view the houses. I understand it. If you read the story, a lot of characters kind of fit the bill. Some characters may not be sorted correctly in Lauren and I's opinion. I don't know. We'll get into it. However, there's so much more to it than just that. And like Lauren said, we've boiled it down to exactly what she said. Gryffindors are super morally righteous. Ravenclaw's very big on the logical truth. Hufflepuff with community. And Slytherins are big about their own circle and themselves, right? Which isn't a bad thing. Good. I wish I was a Slytherin. I'm not, but Lauren is. Lauren is definitely a Slytherin.
Yeah, and I guess we can talk about that now that we've conceitedly told people how to sort correctly.
Sure.
And also so that you realize going forward when Rachel and I start yelling at each other about claiming characters in certain houses or yelling about dumb Gryffindors on Rachel's side, or you will realize why. So what our houses are, like Rachel said, I am a Slytherin.
Very much so.
I am a Slytherin, which is always, growing up was a hard thing. Well, I mean, I guess not, because counterculture, right? When I was growing up, it was cool. I'm like, ooh, I'm the bad house. But now you have to like actually explain why are you a Slytherin, which I think Rachel has been really good at explaining to me.
Oh, yeah. Well, Lauren's all about her own motivations, her own life, her own self, and the people that she brings into that circle, okay? No, but it's not a thing where she's super conceited and like just super into herself. She just values herself. And, that's a good thing, okay? That's something that we should be jealous of that Slytherins have if we're not Slytherins, right? But even bigger than that, I would say, is her love for the people in her circle. But it's very hard to get into her circle, right? That's the thing about Slytherins. They bring you in, you're not leaving. And that's forever. And just, it's a hard thing to break through a Slytherin's wall and to become one of theirs, right? That's, a Slytherin looks at it and goes, okay, now you're mine. That's it. And I'm going to protect you. That's it. That's Lauren with her friends, with her family, like to the nth degree, like that is her. And there's just, there's so much more to Slytherin than just cunning or ambitious or, the really, really basic lines. Although Lauren is those things. She's super cunning and super ambitious. She knows what she wants and she goes for it. And there's this logical thinking to her that I just don't have that makes me seek her out for any problems any problems, like what toilet paper should I buy? Like anything. I will come to Lauren and she will tell me, let's look at it this way. And sure, you could say it's very like devil's advocate way of looking at things. But she will argue for both sides of anything. If she can see it, which she usually can, she's logically going to tell you you're being ridiculous or you're being right. She's fair. And that's the thing about Slytherins. They are very fair.
Which is nice to hear. Like you always hear the negative things. But
yes.
I guess I balanced that out by only yelling about the negative things for Gryffindors.
There are a lot for me.
Which is Rachel. Oh, no, she has all the good Gryffindor things, too. She's incredibly, like I said, rooted in moral righteousness. Rachel is incredibly morally sound in her own convictions. If something is the right thing to do for Rachel, then that's the right thing to do. And like, fuck you if you can't see it that way because you're wrong. She's extremely like, she's very passionate. The strong language that you'll hear, that's all her. Very convinced of herself and of the others around her. And she's also extremely confident in herself and her ability to do things. But she lives in this weird paradoxical world that I've seen most Gryffindors have, where they're extremely convinced of their self and their own righteousness and that they do everything right. But also at the same time, they screw everything up and can never do anything correctly and mess up everybody around them. And it's just such a
great, thank you.
It's such a weird, painful paradox to watch happen because I don't know how she keeps both of them in either hand.
Yeah, Lauren's very entertained by me and most Gryffindors. I'm solidly believe that Gryffindors are the best to her. We're her favorite. I believe it. She may not admit it, but I know it. I know it in my soul. It's going to be
disgusting watching me sort people in, like, you knowing that they're a Gryffindor before I say it because of how I talk about them. Like, it's going to be bad, guys.
But there's no, she loves us. Don't listen to her. Seriously. Like, it's gross. All of her closest friends are Gryffindors. Her favorite characters are Gryffindors. Like, it's just like a she wishes she was us kind of thing. You can't take a Slytherin personally, you know?
Do not wish I was a Gryffindor. Just want to put that out there.
Yeah.
I put myself in your heads for like 2 minutes at a time, and I come out hating everything about myself.
Yeah, well, listen, it's a shit show. It's like she said, it's very, when I have a problem, if I screw up or mess up something, I will beat myself up for it because I'm going.
That's the thing. That's what I was missing, the Gryffindor thing. You identify something. I don't know. Gryffindors identify something, and it's kind of like how Slytherins identify their circle, right? But Gryffindors identify a cause or a person or a project, and it's like, I don't know, it's like a light switch, and then suddenly the entire weight of that thing is on their shoulders as their responsibility. Yeah. So even if other people have a hand in this thing, whatever happens to it and goes wrong with it is on you, man. Yeah. Like, how could you let that happen?
Right. And Lauren's very Slytherin brain will tell me when I get into one of those very Gryffindor moods, she'll be like, man, this isn't your issue. Like, this is very simple. Look at it this way.
It's none of your business. It's not on you.
And that's great. But I've made it all my business. I've made it all my problem. I cannot physically detach from it.
So I can much emotional energy is expended.
It's all emotional. It's crazy. It's I wish I had more of that Slytherin in me to have some logic, but we Gryffindors, lots of the time, we do not. And it's not a bad thing, okay?
No. This is a lesson in getting yourself friends outside of your own house, which was another thing that JKR failed to show us. But I think we can kind of just move on to the second part of what this podcast will be, so sorting. But we are going to basically shove ourselves into your favorite fandom and tell you where your favorite characters belong.
Right.
And you may disagree with us, which we will love because we thrive on arguments.
That's very true.
Yeah, but I guess we can, real quick, before we let you all go, throw in some fandoms we love and are excited about.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, okay, starting off, Supernatural, of course. We're going to kick off with them. I love Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I mean, Buffy is probably the other most formative thing in my life besides Harry Potter. That's my girl. I love Community. Lauren loves Community.
Community, yep.
The Office, of course.
Always Sunny.
Oh, yeah.
We've made a list that we're forgetting now, but some of my favorite shows, separate from Rachel, are Once Upon a Time. We'll definitely be forcing her to watch Ted Lasso so we can go over those characters. She already said Supernatural is a huge one.
Lauren, you're forgetting your girl, Veronica Mars.
Veronica! Oh, I almost spoiled. I almost just shouted her house instead of her name. We're going to sort Marvel, absolutely. We have a plan for shows that we are not super familiar with. We're going to be having guest stars, and we're going to be kind of sorting off the cuff. We're super excited to do those episodes.
Yeah.
We're excited to sort all of these people. I mean, this is all we do. It's true. It's sad, but
listen, no, we're fully aware that this is a very millennial type of thing to do. Okay, like in the in the meme of what a millennial has become, the avocado buying, basic.
Only ever read Harry Potter.
Yeah, you know what I mean. It's very millennial. Okay, we're saying, give us your favorite characters. We're putting them in Hogwarts houses, and like we know, okay, we know it's basic, but
it's not
so much fun.
Like, it's basic when you look at it. You're like, oh my god, they're Gryffindor because they're brave. But it's not though, because what this is it's a deep character analysis disguised as stupid Hogwarts house sorting. But we're gonna get deep here, guys. Like, we're about ready to record our first episode, and I have 4 notebook pages filled with notes on 15 seasons of Dean, Sam, Castiel, and Jax. So this is not for the faint of heart. We are opinionated, and we are right. So,
according to us,
we are right.
Yeah. So, I mean, what better way to spend your time than listening to us discuss your favorite characters of all time? If we didn't mention any here and you want to suggest it, there's going to be opportunities for you to suggest characters.
We will have polls, to vote. Give us suggestions. If you think we sorted somebody wrong, let us know.
Please let us know.
We will never admit it, but we'll take your suggestions into account. I really hope, going through this and talking about it, actually, I've come to the conclusion. I really hope that this takes your favorite character and helps you fall in even deeper in love with them. Like, even if you think we're wrong, you still look at our analysis and you think, wow, this is the character that I really love. And they listed all these things and they said this house, and I actually think it's this house, but I understand this character better. And we're going to love it if we can convince you. And we're going to love it in a very frustrated way if we cannot convince you, but you're still very strong in your convictions. That's your love for the character, right?
Absolutely.
So we're super excited to do this for you guys and to hopefully give you some entertainment during this whole pandemic process. And to our supernatural fandom origins, we hope that our first episode will be somewhat of a balm to the ending of this show that we have dedicated our lives to.
Right. I hope so. I mean, it's going to be tough, but tune in. We hope it helps.
I mean, we will talk about whoever you want, even people we don't know. We have friends. We'll go out there and find a friend who knows that person, and we will craft that episode so that we can talk about them. I mean, guys, I'm just super excited to do this for you. I'm going to keep saying it. You won't hear it at all next the first real episode. You will never hear my love for you again. But I love you so much.
That was rare. Wow, she really is excited if you got her to say that. So this is going to be, I think this is going to be a fun time for everyone, listeners and us alike.
All 20 of you that will show up every week.
Then you are the 20 smartest people alive. We hope that you'll join us. Follow us on our social media. Get in on the polls as they start going up and the discussions. Fight with us. Come fight us. It's going to be fun. Okay, this is a good time. We take this seriously, of course, and this is our scale for how we view people that we love. So we take it seriously, but it's not the biggest
never
deal.
Serious.
Yeah, it's never. Okay, we scream at each other constantly, as you'll know, and it's all love. Okay,
all love. We'll scream at you because you've asked us to. That's how we love you.
God, what are you, my mother?
But
we hope that you will tune in, guys. It's going to be a really, really great time.
It's going to be so great. Real quick, want to shout out Hannah, who's our producer and is going to be listening to all of this and will show up occasionally, probably.
Keep an eye out for her.
She's here anyway. And Illy, who created all of our graphic design, our beautiful logo, and our Twitter
so beautiful
and icon. We're really excited to have them on board as much as they want to be on board, or in Hannah's case, as much as we're forcing her to be. So,
very true.
Anyway, cannot wait to see you guys for our first episode.
We will talk to you soon.
Goodbye.
Bye. Thanks for listening to Sort of Brilliant. If our sorting choices inspired any rage or excitement, we'd love to hear from you. We're open to feedback, suggestions for characters to sort, and solid counter-arguments with citations.
Never forget your citations. You can find us hanging out on Twitter and Instagram at SOB_pod, or shoot us an email at sortofbrilliant@gmail.com.
And since we're not above begging, please rate and subscribe to Sort of Brilliant on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever else you listen to podcasts. Please share our posts on social media, and if you're a Gryffindor, maybe you'll inspire sorting fights among your own friend group.
Our theme music is Hot Shot by Scott Holmes. Can't wait to sort with you again next time. Bye!